Welcome back. Today we want to look at this word is hard to say in English. Assignation or assignation in French. Assignation rule. So basically, let's just look at the definition of the same in the Odoo documentation. So what are assignation rules? Assignation rules allow emission factors to be automatically applied to relevant activity based on specific criteria. And the three criteria given: the product, partner, and or account involved in the transaction. Essentially, we are going to purchase these things or just do activities related to these items in the database, and we're going to track the emissions involved thereby. Let's just see how this is done in the database. We'll start with scope 1, go to scope 2, and I'll basically do scope 1 and scope 3 together, and then we'll see how to do scope 2. So in our database here, I already have our manufacturing application. This has already been covered in a previous series. So I have products, I have the bicycle that I want to make, I have component 1, component 2, and component 3. So these components go into the assembly of the road bike. We just want to keep things simple. You're not going to go into multi-level BOMs, etc, etc. But just to create a new product, because I'm going to use it in another during this flow, I'm going to call it computer. So we're going to buy computers from different suppliers. Okay, so that's basically how you create it. So I want to start operations in my company. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to look at the ESG app. Let's go to configurations and emission factors. Let's look for steel, for example. So a bicycle basically has a frame, and the frame can either be made of aluminium because it's light and strong, and some parts can be built with stainless steel or whatever type of steel. There's different variations of that. So I just want to look for steel, and I can see that there are 57 emission factors related to it. I want to see it based on scope. So for scope 1 I have 50. For scope 2, for scope 3 I have 7. So I want to buy some components. I've just showed you that, and I want to do the assignation rules. So let's take the first one under scope 3, new steel or sheet metal manufacture new. So here we are going to see that the emission factor is 2211 kilograms per equivalent tons of CO2. Uncertainty is 10%. Computation method is physically. Unit of measure is per ton. So here what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to assignations, and here you can see that there are 3 assignations you can put: either account, partner, or product. You can put one of the 3, or you can put 2 of the 3, or you can put all 3. Now in Odoo, based on whatever has been selected, so let's say if we have in this emission factor we have a product so and so, but if we go to another emission factor, let's say recycled steel. Now here, if we will have partner instead of product, let's say, so it's product, let's say component 1 is under emission factor 1. So emission factor 1 will be new steel. Emission factor 2 will be recycled steel. So if we have our product here in emission factor number 1, that's new steel, and have partner in recycled steel. Now if we buy this product from this partner, what emission factor are we going to apply? Let's just go to the documentation. This is how Odoo is going to do it. So when multiple assignation rules match, like in the case of where I was explaining to you, Odoo will go in this order. It will select the emission factor with the product, and then partner, and then bottom of the list is account. You can just go to the documentation and see. There's even an explanation which has been given here. For example, if I have a Zenith computer, now this Zenith computer I can buy it from Digital Den. So if I go to buy from Digital Den, if I go to buy the Zenith Pro computer from Digital Den, between emission factor 1 and emission factor 2, which one will the system take? So given the explanation here, the system is going to take the one with the product. That's the priority. So that's what we're trying to do up here. So if I go back to my database and I go to new steel, I'm going to make an assignation. Here I'm just going to select a product and I'm going to call it component 1. So you've already seen that this exists in the system. So I want to go and see what this component 1 is made of. So if I just go inside, there's a unit of measure called disk. So basically I can sell it at, I can compute the cost and the selling price, but the unit of measure is disk. I just want to see this disk, how it's been configured. So if I enter inside, you'll see that disk is just a unit name. So this is just something we use internally. But the quantity is 1 disk equals 500 grams. So basically when I buy, the system is going to do the math. So if you're going to have, let's just go back to the emission. So if I go to the emission right here, if you're going to have 2,211 kgs of equivalent CO2 per ton, then what emissions are we going to have if we buy a certain number of kilograms? That's what we are trying to do up here. So you see, that's product component 1 and it's made of stainless steel. So let's just go and buy it and see how it works. So for me to purchase, I can use this application called accounting. I just want to pay for it. I want to go straight to payment. I'll go to vendors and I'll create a bill related to this product. So let's just create new. And the vendor, I'm going to select a bicycle vendor. Yeah, it's a bicycle supplier. I've already created this before. I'm going to select the accounting data as yesterday and I'm going to select the product. So the product that I want to buy is component 1. Now, remember, here there are accounts that you're supposed to hit so that your emissions are taken into account. So the type of accounts that you need to hit are already given here in the documentation. So it has to be either our fixed asset account, expenses account, other expenses account, or cost of revenue account. So that's what I want to do. So I want to create an account just for my bicycle supplies, and it's going to be an expense account. So I'm just going to search more, and here I can see my chart of accounts. If my expense account does not exist, that doesn't need to worry me. I can just create a new expense account, and I'm just going to take one. For example, I think I can take 500, 401. I'm just guessing, man, so don't throw stones at me. That's the account code, and I can say bicycle supplies, and the type is going to be expenses because I am buying, so should be expenses, and I'm just going to save it. There you have it. I have component 1. How many discs do I want to buy? I want to buy 500, and I want to select the price here. Let's say a disc goes for 6,500. That's Kenya shillings, so this is going to be 3,770,000. Yeah, we are starting big, and I'm just going to confirm. And right there you see there is a smart button that has appeared. So these are the emissions that are associated with these patches: 552.75. Whoa. So I can just enter in here and I can see that this is a date, this is a name, this is a partner, this is a emission factor, and this is a quantity, this is the amount paid, these are the emissions. Let's go and take it a little further. Go to configurations in ESG, go to emission factors, and I'm going to look at steel. And I want to continue tracking scope 3. So there we have it. And I'm going to select now here. I already had an assignation rule, and that was the assignation rule for component 1, and I didn't put a partner here. Now let's just try recycled steel, for example. So we're going to select recycled steel, and here we're just going to select a partner, and this partner is going to be bicycle supplier. Bicycle supplier 2. Let's just use 2. And here I'm not going to select any product, so I'm just going to save. Now I'm just going to do the same procedure, and we're going to see what emissions are we going to take. Are we going to take the recycled steel, or are we going to take the new steel? I'll go to accounting and make the purchase. So I'll go to vendor, create a bill, and this time I'll select bicycle vendor number 2, bicycle supplier number 2. Date, I'm going to select the same date, and I'm going to select the same product so that there is a match. So component 1. Now from them, bicycle, yeah, from them I'm just going to buy 10 items, and I'm going to select a price of 5,000. I believe it can be more expensive, so let's put it like that. So that's 70,000. And once I confirm the bill, there you have it. You have emissions which are associated with this transaction. So if I come here, so did we take the recycled or the new steel? Of course we have taken the new steel. Why? Because when we assigned product to the first emission factor, we are basically telling Odoo that whenever there is a match between two emission factors, the assignation on two emission factors, take the one that has the product. So before we finish this class, let's go to ESG, and as always we want to see our carbon footprint. And what do we have here? If I look at scope 3, I have business travel, which we did in a previous video, and we saw it was a travel to Warsaw. But now there's another item here. It's called achat de biens. Achat de biens is purchase of goods. Now inside achat de biens I have métaux et produits métalliques. Wow, this is just French, eh? And then inside of it I can see acier, not acier. And then inside of it I can see new steel and sheet infrastructure. What does this mean? New steel or sheet metal manufacture new. So basically it tells you that this this emission factor is under, there are parents to this emission factor. And if you can just go and access it, I'll just go to emission factors and I'll look for steel, and I want to get it scope 3. So if I come here and I look here, you'll see that it's scope 3, it's other scope 3 others indirect, and this is the parent achat de biens, and then métaux et produits métalliques, and then acier. And then you can see that the source database is ADEME, and that's because this is majorly for France and French speaking countries in Europe. So we have seen how to do scope 3 reporting. So basically these are upstream activities that are coming into our company. So that's it for this class. I will see you in the next one. Have a wonderful time, everyone. Bye.